Alright, welcome back everybody. We are going to do a tomato review on this tomato right here, and it's called Kustengold. The U is some kind of, got the two dots on it thing, so I don't know how that's pronounced, but that's what it's called, Kustengold, and basically it's just a cherry tomato, and we'll take a closer look at what it looks like on the inside. Classic cherry, bi-chambered. I believe that's what qualifies it as a cherry, believe it or not. They say if it's got more than two chambers, it's generally not a cherry. It's not considered to be a cherry. And show you what they look like. Nice and bright sunset orange. Very nice little cherry tomato. It's elongated. It's not perfectly round, if you look at it. Alright. So it's not perfectly round. And they turn, I don't know why they call it gold when it's sunset orange, but when they first start turning, they look like this. They're golden color. If you leave them around for a while, they go from that golden color to this orange color. So yeah, they will turn orange eventually. That's when I usually like to eat them. So I'm not going to put those on the scale because they're generally cherry tomatoes, and you pretty much know what the weight of a cherry tomato is, so it's not worth weighing. I'm generally just going to weigh the larger tomatoes just to make the video a little bit shorter in nature. So let's bring that right to the bricks. I'll give you an old brickster on there. Okay, that's pretty nice. It's about 7 3/4 on the bricks, which is almost 8. That's pretty good. That's really good actually for a cherry tomato. And let's give that a go. Okay, let's get right into the numbers. This cherry tomato is pretty good. It was up on the sweetness side. We're going to probably say that sweetness number was probably around, I'm going to say 27, 28. It was pretty high. It was a pretty sweet tomato. The reason why I do this with the numbers, just so you know, if you're new to my channel, I'm trying to give you a real accurate interpretation of what I'm tasting. It's really hard for me to do that. So by me telling you they're sweet and then tangy, what number you're at, and in general, when we're talking about sweet, 25 is generally middle of the road. It's like average. And if I go above that number, you're starting to get sweet. Anything 26, 27, that's a nice sweet tomato. 28 is even nicer. So 27, 28 is a number I really like. This falls right into that number. It's definitely in that sweet zone. It's not overly sweet, but it's definitely up there in the 27, 28 range. Tangy part was pretty good. I'm going to put that probably up there around 28, 29, somewhere in there. It wasn't overly high, but it was good, and it does ring in the aftertaste pretty nicely, actually. Now, when we're talking about tomato flavor, we're talking about the intensity of the flavor. How strong is that flavor in that whole tomato profile? It's pretty good. I'm going to put that at about 6, 6.5 on that intensity level of the flavor. It's really nice because it does linger afterwards, and that's a real nice effect. Plus, it also, the upfront taste was really sweet. That sugary part really complements the beginning front-end flavor part when you first eat it. Now, let's talk about moisture. We're going to put that at about a 6, 6.5, somewhere in there. That was just about perfect. Doesn't get better than that as far as moisture goes. It really delivered that flavor really well. No tardy, no undertones really. There may have been a slight undertone, but it was very, very light, not much. Texture, we're going to put that at about an 8 or a 9. That's perfect for this tomato. It wasn't gushy, wasn't soft, it was nice and firm. You chewed it, it didn't crunch per se, but the flesh was firm, and it was nice. And the inside was very wet with the seeds, and they're very sweet. And so the flavor and the texture of the tomato was really good. You're going to go with an 8 on the texture. Definitely was a good number. When you eat a tomato like this, if you're a tomato eater, this is the kind of a tomato that's going to be very palatable to you. Now, we talk about production. I'm not impressed with the production at all, rather frankly. I'm actually a little bit disappointed. I thought the production would be a lot higher, but I'm going to actually put the production part over here down probably around a 4. 5 is average. For a tomato like this, when we talk about average, we're talking about, 10, 15 bracts of tomatoes on there. That's about average, And when you go above that, you're talking 20, 30 bracts. Plants got to 30 feet tall. You see what I'm saying? The number goes up. With this, we're putting at like 4, maybe 3.5, 4. It's doing okay. It's still alive. It's still growing. It is still producing fruit. Could just be slow. I don't know. But right now, I don't have a whole heck of a lot of fruit on there. I'm talking maybe 7, 8 bracts, which isn't very much for a cherry tomato. I figured I'd have a little bit more than that, but okay, it's not as productive as the others. However, it does make up for the sweetness part of it. So production, 4, 4.5. I might even consider even a 3.5 on it because so far I'm not impressed with the production. You might be able to get better production out of that if you put it in an area where you're getting more sunlight and you put it in really, really rich, good soil. It'll probably go a lot. But this is a very sensitive plant. You're going to have to put some time and energy into making it a good grow. It'll grow good for you, in other words. Skins, we're going to give that a 6 or 7. It was very nice. Almost, you don't even tell that there is skin on there, basically. It's a very nice feeling to it. So skins is a 6, 7. Probably go with the 7, more or less. Seeds, probably put that at about average for a cherry tomato. It's just an average amount of seeds. It doesn't seem like it's lighter or more. Just a typical average on that. Season, this appears to be a mid to late season variety, more mid-season but not so much late, but it is appearing to be a mid to late season. So in other words, if you started your plants early in the season, April, March or April, somewhere in there, and you plant it out there, you should be, your normal crops, you should be getting tomatoes by mid-July to late July. This plant is going to be the late July, beginning of August type of where you first start getting tomatoes off it. Unless you grow it out in full sun, maybe it'll give you a little bit better production. We're getting more afternoon sun than morning sun. And then just really quick, we'll talk about the plant size. Doesn't seem to be terribly big, though it probably can get to around 7, 8 feet, maybe 10 feet tall. Right now, this plant's about 6 feet tall, so it might go up to 8. I'm not sure. It's already August, so beginning of August, so I'm not sure how much bigger it's going to get. A lot of my other plants are starting to yellow off big time. But anyway, guys, that's your tomato review for the Kustengold tomato. What I'll do is I will leave a link in the description where you can pick up seeds at HRseeds.com. You can also read about it on the website, or you can read in the description below any information I can gather on this tomato. And if you have any experience with it, comment below. Just let me know what your experience is with this variety. Just curious to see if it aligns with my interpretation of what it is, to see if it has any alignment to it. Other than that, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you on the next one. Take care.